Seltzer's going to line it up for a deep throw here. Cougars starting to march up on the attack. Everybody north of midfield, with the exception of Maddie Mack. And they'll do it all over again. Crestview doesn't have that player that's got the big, long throwing capabilities, which can be such a deadly weapon. We've seen it for both the boys and the girls. If you got somebody that can whip that thing into the box from deep in enemy territory, it basically is like a low-key corner kick. And you see what a difference it is when you don't have that type of weapon at your disposal. Big battles down in the corner, and Crestview comes up empty-handed after flipping the field position. That one's going to sneak through to the back line. And probably wisely there, Lily Klein just slaps it out of play right around midfield. Just not electing to take any chances. Keep it here on this near side. They've got Youngin playing the outside wing. She's up at the top of your screen. Haven't been able to distribute it out to her. They'll try here, and here's Brinley charging in, cutting down the angle. Youngin back post. She shoots and scores. So Brinley Youngin with her third shot of the night comes through here. Excellent execution. That's why they had her out on the wing. Right-footed player. Big blast off in her keeper. Grayson all the way out to cheer her on. Just over 10 minutes here into the second half. The Lady Mountie strike. And I liked the build-up from start to finish there. Off of the throw-in. Meticulous, a couple passes, lead it out to Brinley. And you just see how dynamic she is with the ball at her feet. Cougars, though, able to respond. They at least get a cross into enemy territory. Be interesting to see if the goal being scored kind of lights a fuse under the Cougars. If they feel like they got to get back the mix here and start seeking for some equalizers. Did like the thought process there from Olivia Grant. Take another look on the Frito-Lay replay on what happened there. Just a shot from distance. The senior Beatty comes up with the save. Her first here of the second half. And for the Cougars, just 2 shots so far through about 12 minutes of action. On the hop, there goes Salser with a throw-in down the line. Kylie again looking to work it down there into the corner. This time it'll sneak by. Grant looking for the cross. She's got it. But it never made its way back in the field of play. Had a couple of options. But those pink boots just couldn't make it for a walk in there. Look at the charge on the back post from Belcher. Saw a bit of disappointment. McLenathan stepping up. And this one's going to drift off her foot well out of bounds. Cougars coming up there with Benedict, not allowing the ball even to get onto their side of the turf. It's another bit of a strategy change here for Mapleton and Carly Sue Stevens. Going back with two girls up top. Sarah Drake. And now they'll work it here on the far side. Ava Hardesty as well coming up. And she's going to get some action. There she is in a big collision, matched up with Dinsmore. Deflected out wide. Chance here for the Mounties. They've got a 4-on-5. But Salser ends the threat. Looked like that one just sent into space. Hellickson trying to get somebody to make a charge. No one on the other end of that phone. Belcher keeps it in bounds. Nice hustle. Looking to make a play here on her own, Elise. Too much that time for Hickey. Now Youngin looking to make a move. Wins that one-on-one matchup. To the midfield, misplayed that time. Spinning in circles was Hardesty. Looking to reverse field now. Come back over this side. Kept in bounds by Benedict. Been very active so far here tonight. Seen the sophomore Haley linked up quite a few occasions. As we're checking in on some volleyball right now from Clear Fork, and the Lady Colts opening up against Marion Harding tonight in MOAC play. First set just underway, and Clear Fork off to a great start. They lead it 4-0. Travis Big League Berardi and Joshua Banks on the call there from the corral. This one leaks again into the hands of the keeper. And Grayson has not had to do anything too spectacular so far tonight. As that's headed forward, here comes a charge in Youngin. And she dropped down. Brinley grabbing for that left knee. Yeah, big collision there. I think that was Dinsmore who bumped into Brinley. And as mentioned, Youngin started the night with a knee brace on. She elected to remove it when she moved from defense up to more of an attacking position. And for Coach Carly, this would be, I mean, what a loss. The area's top goal scorer, a dynamic player that you can put anywhere on the field. And definitely took one to the knee, tried to hobble it off, and it was just too much. So while they take a look at Brinley, we'll go ahead and step aside for a quick commercial break. We'll be back. Lady Mounties lead on the road right now, 1-0.
Instead of paying for some big-name spokesperson, Kasasa Checking gives that money back to you in cash rewards. In fact, just bought me this cup of coffee. See how that works? Amazing! free checking, cash rewards. Take back banking with Kasasa.
Since 1974, Simonson has helped their clients stay on target to meet the goals and deadlines for their projects. From concept to completion, Simonson can design a plan and build a path for success. Let Simonson Construction turn that vision into a reality.
Just back to play here at Scott Bailey Memorial Field, where when we last saw you, Brinley Youngin, one of our area soccer stars, senior year captain for the Mounties, went down with an apparent right knee injury, and she's being looked at over on the sideline, but the door wide open now for the Crestview Lady Cougars to try to get something going. Only 14 players listed on the Mapleton roster, so now down to just 13 if Brinley cannot return. And, of course, Youngin, such a great, young, exciting player that if they're going to lose her, Crestview certainly has an opportunity to take full advantage. As that's a foul down there that's going to go against Audrey Hellickson. First foul the second half on the Mounties. And it looks like the knee brace going back on for Youngin, who, as we mentioned just before the break, started with it, took it off, and now it's coming back on. And speaking of coming on, how about the Crestview offense getting on the attack here? Trying to set it up to the middle. Belcher was lingering, waiting for it. Cougar staying in the attacking third. Oh, well set down, almost to the feet there by Grant. But they'll stay with it here with Addie Klein. Able to knock it off the defender. Last touch there by Clay. So a throw-in on the way here for the Cougs. Quick substitution being made. Crestview and Coach Webb getting in two fresh bodies as McLenathan along with Kidney check out. Approaching the midway point here of half number 2 if you're just joining us. The lone goal of the match came about 7 minutes ago in gameplay. It was Youngin who was able to put it in for Mapleton. Great looking cross. And just missing with that shot attempt was Grant. Looked like it just kind of snuck right underneath her cleats. She's even a little bewildered. Youngins over on the far sideline looking to jog it out and see if she can give it a go. If she can't, Crestview, you would think, will be able to keep it down here in the attacking third more often than not. Though it's a goal kick. And Beatty does not handle her own duties out of there. Defends in the middle of the net. As Belcher's looking to make a play. Brings it back middle. Oh, but Ava checking in. Ava Clay with a nice takeaway. So definitely some solid pieces for these Lady Mounties outside of Youngin. And as we look at the schedule here, moving forward for the rest of the week, 2 huge matches tomorrow. Ontario and Clear Fork going head-to-head for both the boys and the girls. We will have the gentlemen's contest live and free for you guys. Travis Barty's going to be on the call along with Jesse Ryder. And then Madeline Zizzuto is going to have a great highlight for you from the Clear Fork at Ontario game. And we won't be back into soccer action again until a week from now. Crestview at Mansfield Christian, more NBC action. Travis, Greg Atkinson on the call for that one over at, what's it called? Stock Mansfield Christian? Stock something. There it is. Comstock. Another nice save there by Maddie Mack. Been very solid in net tonight, per usual. 4 shots in the second half for the Mounties. 3 of them have been on frame. This one leaks out to the wing. Chance for a setup with Hardesty, and it's disrupted there. And here comes Youngin back into the mix. She'll go back up top. Got the right knee brace on. See if that has any kind of impact on her motion. Cougars are sending Tori Kidney everywhere that she is. We got a quick stoppage of play. Not 100% what happened out there. A couple girls messing around with their socks. And a quick note for you guys, and let me know how you feel about this. I haven't eaten at a Rally's in a hot minute, but I'm told that the Crestview uniforms kind of resemble that of the uniforms that the Rally's workers wear. So if you're stopping by getting some wild fries, or I know that my producer really likes their fish sandwiches out there at Rally's. If you've stopped in for one of those, you know what I'm talking about. Is the design from the same merchant? Rally's and Cougars. Sometimes you just, you got to take one of those clearance deals. Could have been a half off price. Go in with the Rallies. Cut off some sleeves. Works out. Especially on a hot night like tonight. And that's what I'm curious about here with 17 minutes to go. If fatigue will become a factor at any point. Because Crestview, I think they've got about 18 girls that they've put in to the match tonight. Only 14 on the other sideline. Mapleton holding strong here. Finding a little bit of confidence with Youngin inserted back into the mix. And then another big collision. Bailey Jo Cordray right into Ava Clay. And you better believe it's football season out there. These girls can sense it. NFL back this week. Did we get a clap in the audience? There's a dad ready for NFL season. Oh, he likes them both. But I tell you, there's nothing quite like a Sunday in America. Once week 1 kicks off, and that starts this week. Hopefully you got some good fantasy teams. And if you guys are interested in the Monday Night Football game, our podcast will be back on Monday, and we're going to be kind of like the preview for Monday Night Football. We're going to talk about all of our local stuff first. We're going to have some guests and all the fun stuff that you've come to know from the OH Report video podcast. But then about the last 10-15 minutes leading up to Monday Night Football, because we're moving to the evenings now, 7:30 start time for the pod, we'll be making our weekly picks and giving you some ideas of what to expect from Monday Night Football, as only OH Report can. And we want you guys to get in there too, so we'll probably have a fan vote every week. Travis and I will each make some picks. We'll see how that goes throughout the flow of the season. We'll have some celebrity guest pickers, and then always got to see what you, the people of North Central Ohio and beyond, are thinking. Who doesn't love a good pick 'em once the NFL starts? So things kind of cooling off here offensively for both units. Mapleton maintaining, hanging on to possession. Also the temperature down about 4 more degrees since we last checked in. Just about 80 out there right now. As Mac comes off our line to squeeze that one. But where will the offense come from for Crestview? If they can muster some in these last 14 minutes, this will certainly help. Look like Hickey, though, a shade offside. She was. Her shadow leaning that way. About a step and a half. So a tough break, and she's been in a couple positions tonight with the high line by Mapleton where she's been just a little bit off. Ava's really having a solid second half here. Lays it back for Vermillion. Nice find, Salser on the near side. Going to shake things up through the middle now with Bailey Joe. And off the deflection, almost right place, right time for Belcher. She will come away with it, but that connecting pass for Grant. Ricochet just a piece off of Vermillion. Chance, though, off the cross. Diving effort for Beatty, and she comes through. One of the biggest plays of the night. Cougars on the counter attack. And Grayson laying out. 4 shots for the Cougars here in this second half. Couple saves by Grayson. And how quickly they're coming back the other way. This one, back post. Diving save again. Maddie Mack comes through off the right foot of Audrey Hellickson. Sophomore almost put it where Maddie couldn't get. Maddie's got 4 saves here in the second half, 10 total. This possession's lost here by Grant on the near side. McClenathan checks in for Bailey Joe. Imagine they'll have to rely on the senior, trying to make some plays in the midfield over these last dozen minutes. As Crestview looking to avoid dropping tonight's match. Mapleton trying to extend their win streak to 5 straight. And we'll see. It's just going to be a little bit too much as Brindley try to turn on the afterburners. And you know she's got some tremendous speed. But on the turf, sometimes those passes, I mean, it moves about twice as fast as it does on a grass surface. They can get away from you. Played on the hop from Lily Klein, but they'll send it into the box. Another chase is on Max, or Maddie out to collect it. I think we got a couple bats swirling around up top here. Scott Bailey. Oh, that one's going to send through. Brindley with her second goal of the night. Great run and execution as a youngin' starting to put her stamp on tonight's contest. Bursting through the double team, Mac came out, couldn't even make a play. 2-0 for the road team. And the youngin' at the 29:58 mark, and now the 10:22 of the second half. Both scores in tonight's contest as she inches closer to 100. Only 16 more goals until she hits that milestone. Unbelievable. Clock flowing its way down closer to 10 minutes. Mapleton trying to stay hungry. It was pointed out to me on that celebration, Brindley almost got injured there. Her knee. I mean, you want to party and dance and have your teammates all over you, but at what cost? I was reminded watching, if anybody's seen, oh, hold on. Let's get back to some soccer here. Might get a big play, back post, but it's right at the keeper. Grant had an opportunity on it, but Beatty was in the perfect position to clean it up. Fifth shot by the Cougs in this second half. 4 of them have been on frame, but all 4 saves. Grayson Beatty has done her job. About the injury on the celebration, though, Netflix came out with that new doc series, Swamp Kings. So good if you haven't had a chance to watch it. 4 episodes. It's about Urban Meyer and the Florida Gators during their run with Tim Tebow, Brandon Spikes, and the boys, and playing Ohio State in the national championship game, of course. Teddy Ginn takes the kickoff to the crib on the opener and then gets hurt on the celebration. What a game changer. So injuries can come in many different varieties, not just off of big hits in football or collisions in soccer, as that's a big collision into the back of the net. Goal number 3 belongs to Audrey Hellickson. The sophomore has been all over it tonight. This time she comes up with a big left-footed blast. No shot for Mac. 3-0, and I don't know that I've seen a goalie so far this season come out for the celebration quite like Grayson Beatty does. It's a full dead sprint, and when you're playing goalie, I mean, of course you're on the back line all night. There's not a whole lot of like big activity where you need to accelerate, so that's her time to get into her cardio conditioning, and she plays it to the fullest. Actually watching a replay of the celebration again right now. Boom. Big tackle. So the Lady Cougs with 2 goals in a 2-minute stretch. Look like they have kind of cooked their own turkey here at home. Haven't been able to find many answers on the offensive end. Mounties have had 8 shots here in the second half, and most of them have been on target. So Mac has tried to rise to the occasion. 5 saves, 11 total. A couple of great looks, though. Youngin with the pair, and now the latest with Hellickson. Another shot. Mac ready for this one. It's off the right leg of Kendall Ramey. Punt slips through. Good looking step up there from Vermilya, leaving bodies in her wake. Bailey Cho, the freshman, on the brunt end. senior rather, excuse me. Now a nice turn into the middle. See things kind of opening up there for Audrey, and amazingly, it looks to me Mapleton definitely not impacted by having the short roster. They still seem fresh. I'm not seeing any of their girls with hands on their hips. And then on the other side, for a couple of the ladies that have played big minutes here in the black uniforms, getting a little bit tired here, as it's been balmy all night. Nice move by Bailey Joe, but again runs into Vermillion and takes a tumble. Second time in the last couple of minutes they've had those on-field collisions. Off the deflection, Belcher can't chase it down. And so it looks like Coach Webb going to get some youngsters into the mix. Got a few freshmen. Logan Moore, Darren Moore, and the junior Tackett all waiting to get checked in here for the last 5 minutes and change. I was just asked if I heard a cow. I mean, it's Olivesburg. We're surrounded. But I think it was just a ringtone, huh? Cougars trying to set up a counterattack. I've really enjoyed watching Mapleton, though, step to every single ball. They've gotten there first more often than not throughout the course of the action tonight. And that's why they're out in front. And for their head coach, Carly Sue Stevens, coming home, 2019 Crestview grad, celebrating her 22nd birthday tonight. This could be the gift that her players were waiting to give to her, tasting some victory, and maybe a little slice of pie in one of those bags. Hopefully it wasn't packed here next to the boots or the socks. But you take gifts anytime you can get them. Checking in real quick on the volleyball match that's going down live and free on our YouTube channel 4 and also our Facebook, of course. Clear Fork dropped that opening set after coming out to a commanding lead. Tight the whole time, and now they're up 2-0 in set number 2. Big spike there. So when this one wraps up, you certainly have an opportunity to keep your live high school sports flowing on the OH Report with some MOAC volleyball action. We've also got our high school football Week 3 Friday Night Phenoms that are coming out at 9:15 tonight, so just about 45 minutes away. Our top plays, 9:45 p.m. We pick the plays, you the people of planet Earth decide what was the best of the best. And I really feel like this is the strongest that we've had so far through 3 weeks in both categories. Our Phenoms are unbelievable. We had 2 rushers that went over 300 yards and had 4 touchdowns, Gabe Ivey and Dane Nauman. And then there's also other guys like Jack Fickus with 4 touchdowns. So I think this is going to be a really challenging week to try to determine what was the best of the best. So if you don't have a dog in the fight, I think it's the most fun to vote. Because, of course, you're just going to support your school or your conference if you're out there. But if you just like it just for the plays, I am curious what the world thinks about this week's Phenom. And then the top plays, about 6-7 options for you guys, too. Good stuff. Trying to get some top plays here on the pitch to close things out are the Cougars. It's been a bit of a frustrating night for the sophomore Devin Hickey. Leads the squad with 3 goals coming into tonight. Only 5 Crestview players have actually scored this season. Hard to believe, considering this is match number 6 for them. But you see Hickey's got a couple, Belcher with 3, Grant, Klein, and Klein, each with 1 goal apiece. And coming up a bit empty tonight, as we're sub 90 seconds to go. Nice punt, takes a big hop over everybody. Great skill displayed tonight by this sophomore Audrey Hellickson. Yeah, imagine with the departure of a youngin after this season, that's going to be the girl that they'll start mixing around. She's played predominantly midfield tonight. Could be her most valuable spot, but what an asset she's been and has found her groove as the evening has worn along. McClenathan slaps it over into the visitors' bleachers. Could be take a souvenir home night for the fans. Looks like that parent's going to hang on to that ball. All right. Why not? Those things are expensive. Like 40 bucks, I think. My kids have like 8 soccer balls at the crib. They leave them all in the backyard, and they just get ruined. It's awful. Got to take care of those things. And speaking of taking care of things, how about taking care of business for the Mounties on the road tonight? The team that's kind of been in that second tier of the Mid-Buckeye the last couple of seasons, now with wins over the top 2 programs in the Mid-Buckeye, as we are a final. Mapleton wins 3-0, a couple goals by Brinley Youngin, 1 from Hellickson, and there was just no answer for the Lady Cougars. We'll step aside and be back with the Simonson Construction post-game show, as well as an interview with our Sutton Bank Most Valuable Player. Drop me a comment. Let me know who you think should come join us for that interview. All that and more on the other side of this quick commercial timeout.
Instead of paying for some big-name spokesperson, Kasasa Checking gives that money back to you in cash rewards. In fact, it just bought me this cup of coffee. See how that works? Amazing! Free checking, cash rewards. Take back banking with Kasasa.
Since 1974, Simonson has helped their clients stay on target to meet the goals and deadlines for their projects. From concept to completion, Simonson can design a plan and build a path for success. Let Simonson Construction turn that vision into a reality.
I'm joined now by our player of the match, presented by Sutton Bank. No question about it. Brinley Youngin, she did everything tonight. Played some defense, played some offense, a couple of goals, and a big 3-0 victory. Let's begin, though, where you began, and playing that stopper role, some defense tonight. Is that something that you've done periodically throughout the season, or was that kind of a game plan just for this one?
It was not part of the game plan, actually. It's actually happened in a few of our games this season. I'd be in the middle or something. That was my starting spot, and my coaches would randomly just say, "Brinley, you're back to stopper." I'm like, okay, I'll go back there. But and I do my job. I know how to play it.
No question. You look great back there. You really frustrated Crestview in that first half when you were playing defense, but certainly you're a game changer when you're able to get on top. So in that second half, take me through that first goal. It just seemed like a beautiful setup for you, and you striped it well.
I just took a few touches and looked right to the back post where it was the most open, because, I mean, that's where you usually look whenever you're at that type of angle.
2 more goals for you tonight, closing in on getting 100 for your career. You hear a number like that, that's ridiculous. Not very many girls in the history of the state have done that. So why do you think that you're one of them that's in this position now?
I mean, my whole high school career, it's always been one of my dreams to hit that 100, the 100. And, like, even when I was little, I would see girls on TV or, like, just go to random soccer games, and I would see random girls hit their 100. I'm like, I want to do that. And I've just worked so hard to get here.
Yeah, no question. It shows on the pitch. And for your team collectively, just 14 girls out there, but it never felt like you guys got tired. This is 5 straight wins, so Mapleton soccer right now, you knock off Mansfield Christian and then Crestview, the 2 top dogs in the league from the last couple of years. Does it feel like you're now ascending to that #1 spot in the MVC?
We all want it really bad. We're definitely hungry for it this year. We definitely want that MVC victory this year.
Well, the first 2 wins for you in the conference are huge, of course, knocking off those 2 teams, and especially on your coach's birthday. So Carly Sue, you got a Crestview girl coming back home and getting a win for Mapleton. What was her emotion throughout the match and then after the dub?
I mean, the first half was a little bit rough for us. So when our coaches talked to us at halftime, it's like, okay, girls, this is what we need to correct on. We need to pick this up. This is what we're doing good. This is what we're doing bad. We need to adapt to that. And something just hit us like, yeah, we need to pick it up. And we all went out there as a full 11, or 14 if you want to say that, and just played our game.
How much of an impact did the heat have tonight? Because it was almost 90 degrees when we got out here.
Oh, it was hot, definitely. But I think starting off in the heat, it helps us adapt. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, starting off in the heat, like, we get that sweat going, and that just gets us moving. And once the sun starts going down, and obviously it starts to get dark, then we will have the full capability to, like, play together, basically, yeah.
I feel you. You got to get in that warm-up in the sun in that first half, and then in the second, you guys took command. All 3 of your goals here in the second half. So what a birthday present for Carly Stevens. Did anybody actually get her a gift, or was the victory, what was this enough?
Her boyfriend came and she surprised her with a poster and everything.
Okay.
So we were like, "Aw, that's so sweet."
That is sweet, and sweet victory for you here tonight, Brinley. So congratulations. Is there anybody now that you would like to shout out? Go for it.
I would just like to shout out to our coaches for obviously coaching us from the sideline, pumping us up, our supporters on the bench, our parents, everything, cheering us on, and then my teammates and us just working together as a team. We're trying to find that bond together. So I shout out all of them.
5 straight wins for you and the ladies. 2 more goals for you. The area leading scorer and our MVP, Brinley Youngin.
Instead of paying for some big-name spokesperson, Kasasa Checking gives that money back to you in cash rewards. In fact, just bought me this cup of coffee. See how that works? Amazing! Free checking, cash rewards. Take back banking with Kasasa.
Since 1974, Simonson has helped their clients stay on target to meet the goals and deadlines for their projects. From concept to completion, Simonson can design a plan and build a path for success. Let Simonson Construction turn that vision into a reality.
Simonson Construction Services post-game show rolls along with, how about that, a little birthday flower action on the field for the victorious head coach from Mapleton, Carly Sue Stevens, the Crestview native. Ooh, and getting some sugar right here live and free on the OH Report. Check that out one more time on the Frito-Lay replay, where it's always good fun. Good stuff right there. And it was great stuff from Mapleton throughout the night. I gotta say, I looked at their contests coming into this game. They've got all the big wins, 6-0, 13-0, 6-1, 9-0 beatdown of Huron coming into this matchup. Haven't really been tested by a great team. Crestview hasn't been able to form into that, but I thought would be a bigger test for them than what Mapleton showed here tonight. As the final statistics will show, this was kind of the Lady Mounties game. More shots, almost all of them were on net, so they were very direct with their offensive flow. When they got inside of the 18, they were peppering shots that were testing Maddie Mack, who allowed 3 to slip by here tonight. And the possession very much dominated by the Mounties. The Cougars were trying to do everything pretty much in the counterattack. Not a whole lot of continuity coming through the midfield. And I think that you could tell that Belcher and company, definitely Devin Hickey, it got to them a little bit. The fact that they weren't able to get by this back line of Mapleton like I think they anticipated that they would be able to after playing the likes of Shelby, Addison, Port Clinton, Northwestern, and they played them all pretty tough in that stretch. But the Mounties came out here on Scott Bailey Memorial and kind of showed that they were very hungry to be the MBC champions, and they have taken 2 big victories but at what cost? Because Brindley, I know her a little bit. I've seen her play. It does look like she's a little bit hobbled here tonight after locking those knees. And as she tries to get her way out of the field, you just hope that she can ice it and be back to the pitch with no problem, especially for a team that's won 5 straight and just doesn't have a whole lot of depth. So congratulations to the Mounties coming here on the road, and Miss Brindley for being our MVP, getting it done tonight. And one last look. Man, come on, Coach. If you're going to be getting some smooches here on the OH report, we're going to run it back a couple of times. So Carly riding off the field tonight like a princess on her birthday, the way that it should be. We're going to ride out of here in style, as well as that wraps up our coverage of this matchup between the Cougars and Mounties. A couple of thank yous got to be sent out to our fantastic crew. Jeremy Peoples running the camera, Adam Thompson directing, Timmy Kuhn does a lot of jobs here around these parts. I think he was running the concession stands, the clock. I think even some Candy Crush popped up on his phone. You want to talk about multitasking. Mr. Kuhn is that guy. And then the boyfriend over there across the way, he's got the sign and the flowers, even got a walk-away kiss. There's a lot to like if you're that gentleman over there being the hero on his girlfriend's birthday. Our sponsors, incredible as well. Simonson Construction. We also have Sutton Bank, Frito-Lay, Scout Construction, LLC. Some of my favorite companies and people to work with, all participating in tonight's game. So big shout-outs to each of those. Please support them if you get the opportunity. For my crew, my name's Brian Skronsky saying so long for tonight. We'll see you tomorrow back at it with a live stream as well as Coach's Corner with Winford. We'll have the 2 Shanes hosting. Check that out and keep it with us on the 08 Report, the future of local sports.